Welcome back to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two great pals recap romance novels while telling stories and staying connected. Patrons, buckle up because you've got a Ruby Dixon extravaganza coming your way. Sabrina fell deep and hard into the Dixon hole, and we're going to talk about it. If I know us at all, because I've read all the books she just read except for one, that one episode may actually turn into 2 bonus episodes. Oh, and just so everyone knows, Patreon just came out with a really cool new feature. If you want to keep up with a creator but don't have a membership in your budget, you can now follow us. That way, you still get any sneak peeks and free content that we might offer. Like right now, there's a voice message Sabrina left me right after she finished Floor's Fiasco, and it's, I don't know, there's no other way to describe it. It's Muppet messaging at its best. That said, I would love to welcome this week's new patrons. Welcome to Austin R., Madison H., and Emily H. And to some longer-term patrons, big huge hugs to Valmai H., Brittany N., Taylor S., La La Land, Jacqueline G., Bex, and Callista C. Okay, this week, Naima Simone is back, and she's here to recap a book that turned out to be a gift that just kept on giving. All you Bandra lovers are going to be super happy as we recap Smut by Karina Halle. All right, Naima, what? Tell me everything. Come on, man.
Well, my daughter got her first tattoo yesterday. She just turned 18.
Oh my God.
And since she's an adult, I still pay the bills for. But she's old enough to get her own tattoo. So right. She went and got her first tattoo. And listen, I'm a complete hypocrite. I own it because I have 12. But I was not gung-ho on this for some reason. Really? I wasn't. And when she came home, all I could say was, damn, that's big on your arm. Really? Is that what you want to do?
Naima.
I did. Now, mind you, look at my shit.
Yep,
look at my shit.
That's
right here. Like
almost
all
a
over my
half
arms.
sleeve.
It really is. It really is. I'm like, well, your arm? Is that what we're doing? But okay.
Wow, it's just
pretty
like
though.
Everybody can see it. What is it?
It's really pretty script, and it says Unity, and it has like butterflies surrounding it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she put some thought into it. And see, when my son I'm even a bigger hypocrite. Like, I'm not just a hypocrite, but I'm a misogynist. Because when my son turned 18,
you didn't have a problem with it?
I didn't. I really didn't. And not only that, the tattoo he picked, because he's like an anime fanatic.
Okay.
And he got family in Japanese. And me and Gary went with him and got the same tattoo. Yes. I'm not getting all those.
You don't want to be unified with autumn?
Look, Gary's not getting hers too. It's too pretty. He's like, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not having butterflies on my arm.
Maybe fair enough.
I'll get the butterflies. I'm not, but it's pretty. Don't get me wrong. Now, I'm like, I've had time. I think it's just because she's my baby, right?
Absolutely.
And just her getting that, like, kind of solidifies and punches me in the face with the reality that she's like legally grown and she's leaving the nest because she's going to college and I'm like,
in another state, like
in another state.
Yeah.
I'm like, slow the hell down. Like, you already plan on leaving me. You basically got your bags packed, and now you're getting your body permanently marked, and I have no say so. Like, can we just training wheels?
And she's like, here, Mom, meet Deep End.
And it shoves me in it.
Yeah. Do you want to ride this motorcycle into the deep end? No, I get that. And
Yeah.
like mine are only super small, but even then I'm like, is that what you're doing? Like this is our new developmental stage? I'm not ready for that.
That's right. I've been there. I know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not ready for you to be like so independent yet. Like, you know.
Yeah. Did she chat about it with you beforehand or
well, she told me she was going to go get it, but she didn't tell me what she was going to get.
Oh. Okay.
And Gary was there because, you know, I was writing, but Gary went with her.
Oh,
and
good.
Yeah. So I'm like, so I knew she couldn't get anything too crazy because he would have been like, hell to the no.
We're gonna make
what we not gonna do.
Few modifications.
That's right, but it's very pretty.
Yay!
It's just, you know, because my cousin's a tattoo artist and he doesn't know how to do small tattoos, and I know this. Like again, I know this. So, but it's pretty. Yeah,
yay!
It's pretty.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I'm coping. I am too. I just.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else's kid, I'd be like, girl, do it. It's addictive, isn't it? Get another one. But mine, I'm like, listen, don't do it enough for another 2 years. Like, you know, you gotta
really think about it.
And in the meantime, I'm plotting my 13th.
Oh my God, incredible.
They're just addictive. And I know she's, well, God, that's so hypocritical, what I was about to say.
What were you about to say?
I hope she doesn't cover her body, you know?
Listen, relatable. I can't throw stones at how you're feeling. I can't throw stones at it. Oh my God.
Oh God.
No, you gotta process your feelings just like everybody else.
I do. And I'm a work in progress.
Absolutely.
In processing how I'm feeling about all of this. I'm like,
and you're still incredibly supportive and you're still incredibly loving, and she you know,
I'm telling her how to take care of it and everything. I'm not let that bitch rot off. I'm not, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
As long as it has meaning to you, because my sister has Sting, like the sword, Frodo's sword from Lord of the Rings, right down her back with the Elvish script from The Ring around the hilt. I was like, damn it! I should have thought of that.
It's hot.
So nice. It is. She had that done. Well, when the movies came out, she had it done.
Oh my God.
It's so nice. I'm so jealous.
That's great. That's a statement piece.
It really is. You know where your allegiance lies. Like, I'm a little.
It's not with Sauron, I'll tell you that much.
That's right.
Oh my God. Wow, I can't wait for Valor to come home with just her face tattooed someday.
Listen.
That bitch will.
I can see it. I was about to say, I can see it.
I love her so much. If anybody's it's gonna be her.
It's gonna be her.
Yeah, she's best. I really did a number on myself naming her Valor. And I knew it. I designed it this way. Like, this is what I chose.
You set it out. There are no boundaries.
I know.
She will bravely go where no one has gone before.
Yeah, she's just meeting her potential. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
And that's a beautiful thing.
It's hilarious.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Okay. Book. Naima.
Yes.
How did you feel about Book?
I don't think I've laughed in a while. Like, through an entire, like, there are books that, of course, especially the last few books that, like, they have funny parts, like funny dialogue. But this one, I laughed through the whole thing. And I love that. Like, the dialogue was amazing. That
it's
beginning
snappy.
It really is. And it's so sarcastic and it's so funny. And then, but the beginning of the book kind of set the tone for the rest of the book. And it was hot as hell.
I don't know, in recent memory, certainly, I have not encountered a prologue that did so much work.
Oh my, yes, it did, didn't it? It just set it set who the heroine was.
Yeah.
It set the tone of the book.
Uh-huh.
It just shaped what you were going to read from then for it. that prologue was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just funny as hell. Like,
so
I
funny.
kind of knew, like, but then I was like, no.
Right?
No.
No, it couldn't possibly happen. No, it couldn't possibly.
Fluffy.
And like,
let's get, and then like that, I was like, no. And then there's a part that I had to, fuck that. I hate spiders. Like, I have arachnophobia. The part in Return of the King with Shelob, I have never seen, because I've been like this the whole time. I have never seen the whole thing. And I'm not gonna lie, Melody, that part in the kitchen, I skipped it. I had to go. I couldn't. I screamed. I legit fucking screamed.
Oh my God. Naima,
I was like, no.
You missed ass out shrieking.
No.
Like spider catching. That man, his
that
dog
sounds like
was
an Olympic
swinging
sport.
on the way to try and get that.
Yeah, because he was naked.
He was naked.
As soon as I realized what was going on, and there was foreshadowing that this was going to happen, right? Yeah. I was like, fuck no. Nope. Especially said the leg waved. I was like, hell no. I'm out. I had to skim forward. I couldn't do it.
I love it. Well, everybody survived, and as I'm sure you found out.
Yeah.
So that's
spoiler alert.
Okay, so let's start in the prologue. So we've got Amanda, and Amanda
we got to tell the name of the book. We just jumped right in.
Pardon me, everyone. I'm very professional.
I guess you need to know this.
That's what's going on
so
here.
So demanding.
We're just being good at our jobs. Naima is. And we are reading Smut by Karina Halle.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I love her books, but I never read this one. Nice. I don't know how I missed it, but I just read her new release too, which was...
Really?
It's like a Ship of Teeth and Bones, I think it is. And it's like a mashup of The Little Mermaid and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Whoa.
But it's darker, it's twistier, it's hotter, it's so fucking fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, I love that she's like super dabbling.
Yes.
In other subgenres. That's great.
Yes. So I was psyched to read this because I like her books. I've loved her contemporary, and I love her paranormals now.
Nice. Okay, so we've got Amanda, and she's at a New Year's Eve party for rich folks.
Yes. That crowd.
Yeah, she is of that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, it's like set in Seattle, the Seattle area.
I love the Seattle.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. It's not. I lied to you. It is set in Canada. It's Victoria, BC. So it's...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But did she mention Seattle? So it really does.
Totally
like the
does.
whole...
There's a lot.
That's right. And all I'm thinking while I'm reading this whole book is, damn, I want to visit.
I know, right? Yeah.
And she made it sound so pretty.
I know. I love the Pacific Northwest. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's been with her boyfriend for like 4 years.
4 years, yeah. They've been living together for one.
And meanwhile, she's 21
years
old.
Yes.
I heard I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years, and I was like, oh, great. She's like a 26-year-old or whatever. Holy no.
No, they like been together since like, was it
17?
Yeah. And she's not even finished college yet.
No. So normally
I couldn't imagine living with the boyfriend I was with at 21. There's no way I would have lived with him.
Oh.
Mainly because I would have been paying the rent and all the bills.
I'm pretty sure I was maybe long distance at that point, and like that was good. That worked.
Did distance make the heart grow fonder?
That worked, until it didn't. Anyway.
That's right. That's right.
I can't remember what the timing was. Doesn't matter. Okay, so normally they have like private, just them New Year's Eves.
Right, celebrations, right.
But
a romantic crime.
Yeah. This year, he wanted to go all out. He wanted to invite his parents. He wanted to invite her parents. He wanted to invite the goddamn Booster Club.
Right.
Like, everybody was there.
Everybody.
They threw a gala for New
Pretty
Year's.
Pretty much, yeah. And including, I thought this was so tone deaf, including all the people that used to call her Tits McGee and
Sir Pukes a lot.
Sir Pukes a lot. Which was foreshadowing.
It was good foreshadowing. Boy, did that work. So she's like, yeah, I've been bored and like, I feel like there have maybe been signs that something I really don't want to happen is gonna happen.
Right. Especially when her friend, Sarah, comes up to her and kind of almost spills the beans, really. Mm-hmm. And she makes a quick getaway, but she's like, oh no. No,
she tries to ostrich hard, which is what she's been doing for like 6 months.
That's right.
She's been ignoring all the signs, including like, what's your ring size? And like, do you love a blood diamond? And like,
right. I'm like, the ring size question that makes you run for the hills, but she was in serious denial. She was
so much.
Yeah, she didn't want to address anything that would. Well, first of all, cause her parents to be disappointed in her because, like she said, her mother said looked at her for the first time with approval, without disappointment. Yeah, and so that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, because she was a weirdo in high school.
Yeah,
according to that high school.
I feel like we would have been best friends because I was a nerd too, and. All the things that made her a nerd, I'm like, what's wrong with it? Like
all the stuff, I was just like, that's regular.
Yeah, right? That's me now.
Also, I was not cool in high school, so we would have definitely hung out.
I was a band nerd. And just like your regular nerd and geek. Like
nice.
But I was cute though. Cute.
Hell yeah. Always been cute, Naima. Not a day in your life.
Oh no, it depends on the hair phase I was going through. That
false. No, I'm not gonna believe that. I won't do it. So
this is why I love you.
So he is like talking to his dad, and both of them are like looking nervous and like giving each other clandestine nods and stuff
that aren't obvious at all.
Yeah. And then he comes over and he's like, oh, Amanda, don't you look, stunning, ravishing this evening? And she's like, are you a 17th century duke now? What's happening? I loved her.
I did too.
Okay, so then he goes over, he's like, stand right here, don't move.
Don't move,
she's like,
right.
I wish I could move, but I'm frozen in fear.
My feet are glued to this floor and I want to run away, but I can't.
Yeah. And then something happens that made me so excited that you specifically are reading this book. Please tell them everything.
Okay. First we get she tells us by the name Sir Pukes-a-Lot, right? That, when she's nervous, she gets really nauseous.
Yeah.
And so the stomach is starting to rumble because, there's a heads up that something's going to happen here that she does not want to happen.
Yes.
And she's not one of those that's going to waffle.
Nope.
She even does, she thinks, should I? No. Okay. Because she's still in denial now that this is going to happen. Yeah. But he gets...
Oh my God.
I cried. He takes the microphone and dude starts singing. And she's like, is that Mandy? By Barry Manilow.
Mandy by Barry fucking Manilow.
Who does that? How old are you?
So first of all, what kind of geriatric nonsense is that?
That's we couldn't have found you couldn't have sang In Those Jeans
literally anything else.
Anything from the 20th century.
Yeah, Beautiful by Ed Sheeran or something
something.
Anything.
Anything. Anything.
Hips Don't Lie. He could have come up there with some Fergie, and it would have been better than this.
And so he's singing.
Oh no, that's Shakira. How dare I?
Look, I
I'm
didn't
so
catch her
sorry.
either,
I have to crawl into a hole.
Because Shakira and those hips.
That's
Ooh,
right.
Jesus.
Oh my
She
God. I'm
changes
so
my
sorry.
life every time
Goddess
I watch
Shakira
her.
and tax evader, maybe. Good job, Shakira. Anyway. I think she also maybe fought a bear for her kid one time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
In a French park.
Okay, now I have to go. I'm going to have to go look this up because I've
I'll
never heard that. I'm going to.
You know what, Naima? It's so funny because every single time we record, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to send you that thing. And then inevitably, I send it to you, I don't know, 2 weeks later when I'm editing and I remember because I hear myself say it out loud and then you get the link. Oh my God. Oh, how are you friends with me?
But the point is, you come through.
I mean, I do, eventually. The promise is kept. You just never know when it's going to happen. Fuck. Okay, so yeah, he starts singing Mandy, and she's like, oh my God, first of all, I didn't know Alan could sing.
Right, and this is another problem. They've been together 4 years, and she didn't know he could sing, and she's like, well, this is just like pretty much example of our relationship. We don't know each other.
He doesn't know me.
He doesn't know me. He doesn't know the real me. He wants to change the real her. That's what it is.
That was proven right before he did the song, because he started it with this speech that was like, you know, she was such a weirdo. She was such a weirdo with nerd girl, and then I did buff her up and shine her.
That's right. And now she's turning into the woman she was meant to be, and
she's a beautiful young lady. And
young lady.
Young lady.
She's like lady.
Young lady, are you my great uncle?
It was so condescending.
It was. And he thought it was a compliment.
He did. That's the thing. And I think that's what made it just more tragic.
Absolutely.
And then he started to sing that song. God.
And then don't get me wrong, the Harry style flourish at the end where he runs and slides nails on his knees. Mick Jagger / Harry Styles flourish. I had to respect that one.
Because he was willing to get his pants dirty for this, for this proposal.
That's right. That's right.
So you had to give him points on that. If the points we took away from the song choice, not all the points back, but just a skosh.
Oh no, definitely not.
I mean, he was sold out to the performance completely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then he sits there. She's like, he's not gonna get up because he's on his knees. Oh no! Oh, here it comes.
And it's just bubbling. It's just bubbling.
She puts her hand over her mouth, and everybody's like, "Oh, she's so stunned. She's crying."
She's crying. And because he's like, "Will you marry?" Like pulls out the rings, like, "Will you marry me?" And she's horrified.
She thinks to herself, "Can I say yes now and then let him down later?"
Yeah, just break up with him later.
She's like, "No, I can't."
I already knew I was going to like her from the whole internal dialogue and how she's so funny. But at that moment, because I'm not going to lie, I probably would have said yes in front of everybody, not to humiliate him, even though he didn't have the same, consideration, and just broke it off later. But she was like, I can't.
I'm so sorry. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
And she throws up on his head, his face, the ring.
She fills his shoes with her puke. Oh my God.
I was so horrified and just giggled.
I was so excited.
I literally said, oh no. It was hilarious.
Because he made her wear contacts today. Because he didn't want her glasses in their engagement pictures or what the fuck ever. Go to hell, Alan. I'm wearing glasses in my we just got engaged photos, my proposal photos. And you can fuck right off. They're part of her identity, asshole.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was really trying to change her.
Yes.
And to her, this was like, this is it. I can't go forward with this. And
no. And poor thing, because she's wearing contacts, they don't fit and they feel yucky, and so she's been like crying all night. And everybody's like, you're crying, and she's like, God damn it! I'm just
the context.
I can't see anything. And so as she's trying to sprint out the door, she doesn't see an actual table in front of her
with food and beverages on it.
A whole ass table One of those banquet boys.
Yes. Oh. And does she knock it over? Yes, she does.
Absolutely. And then
when I thought it couldn't get worse after the puke, then that happened.
What a sweet unicorn angel she is. What a gift to this goddamn world. So, and then she runs out into a storm, a winter storm.
And
it's a thunder and it's a lightning and it's a rain.
And what I thought was so great was earlier in the prologue, she had been thinking that she would have loved to have been outside in the rain.
Yeah.
And then when she runs outside, it's like she's like, I'm not thinking about, she kind of smothers like the fact that she hurt him and the humiliation that she's feeling. All she feels now is free.
Free.
And I so felt that. I felt it, ma'am. I did.
The catharsis of a run in the rain. Oh.
Yeah.
It's great. Oh, it's great.
That prologue did the Lord's work.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It was like that Jane Eyre scene where she runs out into the thing, but funny.
Yeah, but funny.
It was great.
Right.
Totally different tone. Not gothic romance at all, this one.
The tone was different, but
it gives Jane Eyre vibes.
It does.
So now, chapter 1, we open up, I think it's 3 months later.
Yeah. Months later.
This is just me. This is my issue. I was really hoping that it was going to be like 6 years later.
I was like, is this going to be a year later or 2 years? But it was months. Yeah. And I get it because she was still in school. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I did too. I thought it was going to be like years later.
Yeah. So, I trauma crocheted and she trauma runs now. She's a runner now.
She is, and I felt her trauma while she was running, because personally, running is trauma.
It is, yeah.
So, yeah. And she's not enjoying it. She's not enjoying it. And she doesn't know when she's going to enjoy it. All she feels is pain.
Yeah, but she does.
I get it.
But it does get her out of her own head, because she can focus on that pain and not all the other bullshit.
Right.
Because, like, her parents have made it very, very clear that this is the worst decision she's ever made. And she is baffling to them. And they don't know who she is anymore.
Yep.
And I'm sure you could get him back. And, like,
if you apologize,
you're nothing without him.
The narrative from her parents were, it was just, it was terrible. And it was just like so, like, confidence stripping, self-esteem stripping.
Absolutely.
Because and here's another thing, like, when they pin, there has to be such a weight, and you could feel it for her when they pinned all their hopes and expectations on her, because her sister had went the hippie route. It was like outliving her best life, not giving a damn about what her parents thought.
I mean,
and so she was their last hope for, like, respectability.
Yeah. If I could, like, on a grand scale, if somebody was like, Melody, you can make a decision right now and you can change something about people on the whole or whatever. I don't know. I think one of the top 3 to choose from would be, I want to make sure everybody can divorce themselves from caring about their parents' expectations.
Isn't it true?
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm blessed that, other than things like, want you to, like my father always said when I was younger, and I honestly don't think this is a bad thing, because it shaped, it brought me to where I am today.
Sure.
He said, whenever you do, get a job that you don't mind getting up in the morning going to.
Yeah.
You want to be happy. You don't want to, and I've been in both places. Like, and so for him, and he always used to tell us, I didn't raise entertainers, I raised scholars. So in other words, he was telling my dreams of being the girl version of New Kids on the Block was out. So that was destroyed early. So the college route was basically, you're going to college. And
totally.
And I'm thankful for that, because it is what I needed to do. It's brought me here. And So those,
and now you're a scholar and an entertainer.
Right. You don't think I pointed that out to him too?
Yeah,
he now denies he said that, but me and my sister like, no, you did. The time we performed the Kool-Aid song in the kitchen, and you told us no. It was like, I love High C. Great taste. It's got the vitamin C. I love High C. And he's standing there like this. We had the dance routine and everything.
Yeah.
And he was like, I raise scholars. I'm raising scholars, not entertainers.
I love that.
He didn't even let us get to the mums and kids agree. Yeah. Like the whole bass part. Like, just totally destroyed our dreams of like boy band grandeur. That's all I'm saying. But like those were really the only expectations they put on us. They let us just forge our own track.
Yeah.
When I wanted to be, and I was scared to tell him that I wanted to be a published author.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's not dependable money. Don't even know if you're going to be. You don't know. And that could be like years. And all he said was, are you going to copyright your work? You have to copyright your work so nobody can steal it. And are you going to go, is there an organization of writers that you can join to perfect your craft? You're going to need it. He not only pushed me to my first RWA meeting, he paid for the year. Yeah, he just supported. Like, so we didn't, but I totally agree because I've seen what happened. I have friends where it happened the other way.
Yeah.
And it could be, it's such a weight. It's such a weight to have that expectations and somebody's hopes and their vision, not your own, on your shoulders that they want you to carry out. Yeah. So I so felt for her. Like it made her so relatable. Yeah. And even though she was following her own dreams of being a writer, she still had to lie to them about what she wanted to do with her degree. Right. And she was writing in secret. I think they knew about her book, but they just like didn't respect it at all.
No, it was her hobby to them. They were like, "Oh, good. Are you filling your weekends with book writing instead of banging all the boys? Great."
Right. Namely, Alan.
I guess that's better.
Yeah. They were terrible.
Oh my God, they're awful. I hate them. So, okay, so she's in a creative writing class, and she's in it with her nemesis. He is English. He is a tall drink of water.
I just heard him talk in my head, like while I'm reading in my head. That British accent is so sexy.
It's great. It's great.
It does
stuff.
things for me.
It's a panty dropper, is what it is. And he drops panties all over campus.
Taking them.
That's one of the reasons she hates him so much.
Yes.
Because she's just like, he's not serious about anything. And like, he thinks he can just like go through the world banging chicks and, getting drinks thrown at him and just like,
he's going through half the girls in the class. Yeah. Right. And actually, when we first see her going to her class, there's one of the girls from the class like running out because he just like broke her heart.
Because she had words with him and then she had to leave.
She was not sitting in that class with him.
No, his name is Blake and he's finishing up his degree and he moved to Canada to like help his dad and spend more time with his dad. So she hates him. Every time she speaks, he rolls his eyes because he thinks she's like a brown noser.
And pretentious. And she got to stick up her ass.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. He's not.
Wrong. Yeah. So the teacher decides that their final project is going to be her deciding who she's going to team them up with, and it's going to be a partnered writing project. Have you ever you have co-authored stuff, right?
No, I've never co-authored.
You've never? Yeah. Okay.
No. I mean, if I had my dream pick of like an author, like to write a book with, it would be two. It would, of course, like Nalini Singh, because
my God, yes,
and Tessa Bailey, because God, yes. Okay. So, but no, I never have, and I've always wondered, like, how do they do that?
How is it? Work?
Yeah. How does it work? How do you break it up? Who decides whose voice is going to? Because I think if you're co-authoring with somebody, like your voices have to mesh, while still retaining your own to keep the characters not sounding alike, right? Yeah. So Yeah, I've always wondered how you did that.
Yeah, and I think the answer is, I mean, just like writing in general, it's different for everybody.
Right,
but
right. Yeah.
I think that when Sierra, Simone, and Julie Murphy teamed up for that series,
the Christmas series. Oh,
yeah,
love that.
I just
bought the novella.
Yeah, I asked them because every time I meet a pair of co-writing authors, I'm like, how is it done, please? Like, what's your process? And for them, they split it up by POV. Sierra wrote all of the male, and she wrote all of the lady main character.
That makes such sense now that I'm thinking back.
In their voice.
No, yes. Because I read the first one and I just bought the novella, and now that I'm thinking back, I can totally see that. Yeah. Because I read both of their books, and I can definitely see that.
Right. Yeah. I was like, oh, everything just clicked into place when you told me that. Obviously, they do what these characters do in this book because, FYI, she gets teamed up with Blake.
Like you didn't see that coming, but we're going to tell you.
Yeah. But, like, they still like, comment and edit and help with each other's chapters, but, like, the base of the prose is them and their voice on their own. So... yeah, I don't know. Like, I would be interested to know how other people do it. It's cool.
Me too.
It's really cool.
Me too. Like, even like writing like the same chapter together. Like, who decides? Or because I know some people might take it chapter by chapter. You write chapter 1, I write chapter 2, but we're both writing. So that would be interesting to find out how everybody. Yeah.
Hey, are you a co-author? heavingbosoms@gmail.com. Let a bitch know. What do you do?
School us.
I'm serious. I would love to know. That fascinates me. Okay. Actually, you know what I've realized about myself? And I think it's because I am like still kind of early on my like ADHD as an adult journey. Uh-huh. But I am fascinated by people's like learning about people's workflows. And I never thought I would say that shit out loud.
Same.
Like, yeah, like I want to know what it looks like. Is it doing it in the morning? Is it, and like no matter the industry, I just like, how do you make a thing go?
Right.
How do you do it?
Same, because I always ask people that. And whenever like there's an interview and an author interview I'm reading and that question comes up, I find that so fascinating too, because it's different for most people. Mm-hmm. And I find sometimes I can take like, why not try it? Because, well, I was first published in 2009 and now it's 2023. And the process I started with has changed over the years because some things that worked then don't work now. Sure. And so when I read that or hear people answer that question, I'm always listening. I'm like, because maybe I can take little things to tweak my own process and make it the creativity flow more, whether I'm going to be more disciplined. So it fascinates me too.
Yeah. It's also why I took one of the Write Better Faster courses. Becca Syme's Academy thing.
I love her.
And I took the one for writers, knowing that like I am not a writer and I would be applying those skills to other shit. Yeah. And it was illuminating. It was
She is fantastic. Oh my gosh.
Like every single time I speak with her, I feel like my life changes.
Right? You come away
insightful.
With something. Oh my gosh. I just told her, like, she posted, so I read her posts on Facebook too. Every time she makes a post, like the last one she did, I just told her, I was like, every time I read something of yours, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's in a book, because I have like 2 of her books, I feel like I just had therapy.
Yes. No, yes, that is so true.
I feel like I've learned something more about myself.
Yeah.
I've
learned something more about myself and I can apply it to my business.
Yes.
And like,
absolutely.
Geez, that's incredible. God, she's so insightful. Her instincts are so on point. Like, I don't know. She's amazing. Anyway. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Hello, Becca Syme. I love you.
we are just crushing on you.
We're the big fans. Okay, so she gets teamed up with him. She tries to throw a fit and be like, I can't do that. Don't do that to me. And the professor's like, bye, babe. Have fun.
Suck it up, buttercup. Deal with it.
Yeah. So she decides to pull an Alan?
Yeah, didn't it sound like that email sounded so condescending?
Oh, it reeked of it.
And I'm like, do you not realize it?
She does. She does. She said, I'm writing this email to put him in his place. He's going to know who he's working with.
Because she used all the big words.
Oh, she does. One of them, she's not even super sure it works in the sentence.
Listen,
but like,
why did I look it up?
I did too.
And I'm like, no, you didn't use it.
It wasn't. That's
no,
not
it wasn't correct.
Yeah. Karina, Halle, that was hilarious. And you're a genius. That tidbit in that email was fucking hilarious. Oh my God. Because I immediately Googled. I did a big Google on it.
I did too.
And then I spent a couple of minutes being like, could I shoehorn that definition into...
and then I was like, I wrote it down because I'm going to use it somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Correctly.
Hell yeah. So, okay. So she's basically like, I'm sending him an email to put him on notice that like, I'm going to be in charge and I am much smarter than him.
And I'm not putting up with your shit. Like,
not doing it.
Yeah.
Like you're on notice. And it ends with, and she says like, we should do this as separate as possible. Like, I don't see the need to meet up. I don't see the need to spend any time together. We can do this completely, virtual long distance. And he gets the email while he's getting drunk with a friend. Yes. And this friend is gold. I forget his name. Heath?
Heath.
I don't know. Some white person
Everybody
name.
needs a friend like Heath.
Yes.
He encourages the shenanigans. And I mean, anybody who can just explain my life to me in Lion King metaphors. Oh my God. That was so hilarious. I was about to say, he is like the surfer dude.
Yeah.
The way he looks, he encourages the shenanigans, but then he has moments of such clarity into somebody's personality.
Yeah.
But listen, if you can analyze me.
Oh my God, please analyze
in
me.
Lion King analogy.
Yes. Please.
But why was I singing like for the rest of the night? Can you feel the
love tonight?
The
peace the evening brings.
Listen, why did I then go and add it to my Spotify list?
I mean, seriously.
I love that song.
Hey, and also, just for the record, listener, you don't need to email me. I know I'm Pumbaa. I know that. If you would still like to email me, that would be great. But it needs to be more than you are Pumbaa, Melody. You gotta actually come with the analysis.
You gotta break down why. Just don't email.
I truly cannot think of a personality trait that Pumbaa has that I don't also have. And when I say personality trait, I also mean the flatulence.
I'm not going to argue with you.
No. The only thing I can think of is that pigs only sweat through their feet. So that is different between me and Pumbaa. Yeah. That's true. That's the reason that pigs wallow in mud. It's not because they're like dirty or whatever. It's how they cool down because they cannot sweat out of their body. They can only sweat through their feet. So they have to keep themselves cool or they will literally cook themselves in the summertime.
The things I learn when I come onto your podcast.
I mean, listen.
It's just mind-blowing. I learned something
I was a pig farmer in high school, right?
No, ma'am. No, that has not come up. I would have remembered that.
Yeah, I was a full pig farmer in high school. Not only did I... I'm going to
need you not to just drop that in and not explain.
Sorry. No, you're right. So I was in 4-H and I decided to raise pigs.
Of course you were.
Yes. And one of my favorite things was there was like the closest pig farmer. Her name was Kathy Mason, and she and her daughter Ida ran their pig farm. And so I would trade labor for a discount on pigs. And I would spend like weekends at their house. I would just go drop off on Friday. Yeah, drop off on Friday, pick up on Sunday. I would go to Catholic church with them. That's the only reason I know about Catholic church, because I would just go with them when I stayed with them. I fucking love them so much. They're also the people who introduced me to Monster cookies. Oh, anyway.
Gems.
Oh my God. Truly some of the best people on the planet. Anyway, so then after like getting that experience, I decided to turn 2 of my like pigs that could have been for slaughter into sows. I built a barn with my stepdad, and like we had a bunch of litters. I did inseminate them both.
What?
A couple of times. Yep, like, I did do the insemination. I also had with shipped in sperms, and a big.
So basically, you're telling me you impregnated pigs?
Yes, I did. I literally. I'm not saying basically. I literally did that. Then I had a boar. Oh my God. Then I had a boar who was like, boy, he was sweet, but boy, was he just stupid. And so there were a couple of times where I had to be like, nope, you gotta, this is where you're going. No. You gotta go here.
Well, oh my God, this is a metaphor for real life.
It's true. I did all of like the injections, and I did all the castration. I did when I had a bottle baby.
You castrated?
Yeah, we had to castrate the boys, otherwise the meat doesn't taste right.
This is also a metaphor for real life.
Oh, there we go. Digging that.
Let's unpack that.
Yeah, right? And when I had bottle babies, they would sleep in my room / in my bed with me. Because the other thing is, pigs are actually really, really clean. Like, horses shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Pigs only go to the bathroom in, like, one spot. And if you don't clean the spot, they will go and, like, make another spot. But otherwise, they don't shit where they eat or sleep.
Wow.
Pigs are great. I fucking love a pig.
They got a bad rep because we always talk to, oh, you're such a pig.
No, it's ridiculous. Yeah, and it's only because of that mud fallacy.
Right. I'm thinking, I'm so going to write a heroine who's a pig farmer, and I'm coming to you.
Oh my God.
This has to happen.
I've never been more excited.
This has to happen.
Oh my God.
I'm dead serious.
Yes.
What a cool job.
Yeah, it
and
really
I have
is.
All the research possible right here in front of me.
Yeah. I brought a baby pig. I brought 2 baby pigs back to life because I would like farrow them. And so I was there for like all of the births and everything. And a couple of them were in the canal too long.
Oh,
and
God.
The great thing about pigs, baby ones, is that like they usually fit like right in your hand. And so you can support like all of them while still swinging them the hell around. And so I would have this little tiny pig in my hand, and then I would just like swing them back and forth so that the stuff would get out of their lungs and nasal passages, and then they were alive.
You're a fucking midwife.
Yes. No, that's. Oh my God, I didn't realize it, but I was a pig midwife.
You were.
Yeah. Because that's the predominant time that I worked with Kathy and Ida, was when all of the sows were due. So like we would wake up, like sometimes I would spend the night because it was like, maybe Rosie's going to go into labor at 3 a.m. Like,
I love this. This just
you
keeps
get
getting
up
better.
And you go catch them for Rosie. You make sure that placenta's all out. Anyway, so yeah, best. One of the best experiences of my life.
Every time we get together, I learn something new about you. Mm-hmm. Every single time. So this knocks 2 birds out with one stone. I get my melody story, and I learned something new about you. Holy hell, a pig farmer and a midwife.
Yeah, that's true. Aw. I'm so sorry, listener. Shoot. Okay, where were we? Literally.
Oh no, they're loving this just like I am. Like you don't get shit like this on other podcasts. Like, I dare you to name another podcast host who was a pig farmer. They're getting romance and 4-H like points. Like, come on.
True. Thank you, Naima.
4-H.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just speaking truth here.
Oh my God. Okay, so we were at the email. So he gets it with his friend Heath, who did lead us to a pig rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And look, Heath is useful on so many levels.
It really is. It's like multi-layered.
Yeah. And so they craft the worst email possible back. It starts with something like, "Hey, sweet cheeks," or something. Sugar tits.
Sugar tits.
Oh my God.
And it just goes down from there. But I have to say, she asked for it. She had it coming.
Yes. Absolutely. And he was like, part of the email was like, "I don't know what you really said because you used all those big words." But like, "No, we're going to do this in person. How about we meet at the library?" So he wakes up super hungover and he's going to go to his dad's bookshop because one of the reasons he's finishing college in Canada is because he's going to take over his dad's struggling bookstore.
And it's why he's getting that business degree instead of one in like creative writing or whatnot. Because, spoiler alert, he's a writer too.
Yeah.
Even though people wouldn't believe it because of his manner in class, but he actually has his own secret project that he's writing. It's a sci-fi horror.
Yes.
So,
sci-fi horror.
Yes. And
into it.
Could these
and
two
isn't
just
it
be
called
near perfect?
Okay, I'm so sorry, everyone. I have something weird happening in my brain. And so I listened to a podcast a little while ago who do fun facts. And the fun fact they were doing is like bands' names before they were the super famous names we know.
Right.
And one of them was Blood Fart.
Who?
Limp Bizkit, I think.
No!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were Blood Fart.
Why?
For a second.
If that's the case, good check for hemorrhoids.
So, I mean, for sure. Yeah, you got a fissure in there? Yeah. Check it out. Anyway, so but now I can only think of the title of his work in progress as Blood Fart, and I don't think that's right. There's blood in it, though.
I think was it Blood Aurora or
Blood Heart?
It was something. It was Blood something. And now that you said
might be
fart,
Blood Aurora.
it just
I can only think Blood
propelled
Fart.
everything out of my mind that said Blood Fart. I can't even think of it now.
I think you're right. It's Blood Aurora. I think.
Blood Fart is just,
oh my God.
Shove its way in there.
Listen to Till Death Do Us Part. They're a great indie true crime podcast, and it's a husband and a wife, and they do it together, and they only cover cases in which romantic partners murder each other.
You know what? You
fantastic.
have given me one of my favorite podcasts now.
Yeah.
Love Murder.
Yeah.
And now I'm writing this one down because that's now my favorite, one of my favorites.
It's so good, right?
Oh, I love it.
Love Murder is so good. Yeah.
So death, dude.
Yeah, their podcast craft is tight too.
And what I love about it is not a lot of them, about half of them I know. You know, I've seen like on TV but they give so much more detail that it's like listening to that case for the very first time. And then their commentary is funny.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Okay. I'm so sorry, everyone. So he sends this back to her and he's on his way to his dad's shop. But on the way, he does run into her. And
she's out running again.
Yes. And he's like spooked.
Yeah, because
he doesn't know.
I know I said that.
Is she going to kick me right in the nards? Is what he's thinking. And the bollocks probably for him.
Yes. He's probably hiding his hands over his nuts.
Yeah. So he's like, get my email. And
she's like,
and she pretends.
Yes, she lies.
She wants to like look like she's really on her shit. So she lies. And he's like, and you're okay with that? And she's like, yeah, where did you want to meet? Like, she just guesses that that's what he said. And he's like, the library, I guess. Like, this is real weird. Gotta go. Bye.
He rushes up out of there.
Yeah. And then she reads the email afterwards and she's fucking pissed.
She is hot.
Big mad. And feels like an idiot because she did that stupid lie.
Yeah. And now she's like, no wonder he was looking like that.
Yeah.
That email was hilarious.
It was so good. It was. Oh my God.
They wrote it while they were drunk off their asses.
I know, and there are moments when I wish I didn't read some of the podcast books in audio because I would be reading you the entire email, but I can't, listener, so listen to the audiobook. It's good. Okay, so then we actually learn a little bit more about him. To sort of boil it down, the bookstore is struggling. His dad is a pretentious asshole.
Who doesn't even have a romance section in that big bookstore. Yes, because he considers it trash and porn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Blake points out there have been tons of women who come in the bookstore, ask about the romance section, and walks back out because he don't have one. And they're losing money, like, because he refuses to, because he's like a literary purist, right? And I'm, this hit me right in the where it hurts, right?
You're not a literary purist. You're a misogynist.
That's right. That's right. You know, you're just a snob. That's what you are.
Yeah.
And no wonder he's going broke. If he put in a romance section, they would be in the black.
They would, I mean, at the very least, they would have more foot traffic and they wouldn't alienate people who will buy romance and other shit.
Right,
by making them feel like, less than.
Like he put in the fantasy section.
Yeah.
And he put it in the back.
Yeah. Such a dumbass. I mean, really. So, I do have kind of a hot take about this book. And I will get to it at the end. Overall, I really, really liked it, obviously, but I did have a little bit of a hot take toward the end. Okay.
And
it's regarding like how romance and the romance hate is kind of wrapped up / treated.
We have the same hot take.
Okay, perfect.
Because I found myself getting angry.
Big. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found myself.
And I was thinking, if there wasn't a romance author writing this.
Oh, yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and all of it's incredibly realistic and shit that every person has heard before if they listen to this podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so then they do meet up at the library. They decide what they're going to write about. They decide how they're going to split up the work. She wants to be the person who solely comes up with the characters and overall plot structure. And he's like, fuck that and fuck you.
Because he's like, either one, if it's bad, if the novel goes bad, you're going to say it's my fault because I didn't participate.
Right.
If it's good, you're going to say he didn't participate. This is all me. He's like, I'm not even going to set myself up for that, honey.
Absolutely not. No.
Not going to do it. We're doing this together.
50-50.
That's right.
And so when they get together to like go over the first chapters, she is hilariously delighted and shocked.
Right.
Shocked,
that he can
tell you.
String 2 sentences together.
Oh
and that those sentences are really good.
And they're like, wow, there's so much depth to the character he wrote.
It even makes her feel self-conscious and doubting her own work.
Yeah.
Because he dug so far into the character. Well, the book they decide to write is about a man who is cheating on his wife.
Yes.
And he's in love with 2 women. Mm-hmm. And so he's taking the POV. That's how they split up. He's taking the POV of the husband and she's taking the POV of the mistress and later on the wife.
Yep.
And so she was expecting basically his chapter of like the opening chapter of the husband's point of view to kind of reflect how she viewed him, which was shallow and without depth and flippant and arrogant. And when she read his chapter, like he gave that character so many layers. It was 3D. Mm-hmm. He was insightful. He was funny. You even started to feel for him. And when she read that opening line, I was like, fuck yeah, that's a really great opening line.
Great opening line, Karina. Halle. Nice work.
Really.
Like,
right.
10 out of 10 would read.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't get scared away by cheating, Karina. So,
no. Oh, my, you know what? I used to. Like that used to be just a sidebar. That used to be a straight
hard
deal
limit.
Breaker for me. Like I was, if there was cheating involved, I'm DNFing it. That was a deal breaker for me. Lately, because I've been reading a lot of
dabbling in some dark.
I really have dark romance and urban romance. And They have, it's no longer like a hard limit. If there's like, if the writer just like works it and crafts it in a certain way, and especially the characters, and it fits the story, it's no longer like a hard limit for me.
Wow, that's cool.
It just shows the power of a great writer in a great story. You know, that can push you beyond what you think are your boundaries and what you find acceptable and make you like it.
Oh my gosh, truer words have never been spoken. Oh
yes, it's why books are so cool.
Yeah. Oh God. So after that, she's like, okay, I can trust him more, and they start to work together a lot more. And then he decides to like pick her up. She keeps on trying to text him, and he keeps on calling her back. Yeah. And she's like,
that's me.
She's like, what the fuck, dude?
That's me and Gary. Gary texts, I'm like, I ain't got time for that shit. Let me call you. That's a lot of fucking writing with my thumbs.
I mean, truly. Yeah. Yeah.
He hates it.
I texted for a reason, Naima.
That's what he says. We got it for a reason. I'm like, yeah, that's just too much to type. My thumbs are, no.
Oh
There's
my
a lot
God.
of back deleting too. No, fuck it. Let me just call.
My favorite is when people text me and I can't like use my hands, and so I send them a voice memo back.
Oh God!
Because it is a text.
It really is.
Okay.
They have it in the text app.
The legit text.
Yes.
So, yeah. But you are going to hear my inflection. Oh my God.
And
okay.
Because when you do that, it feels like I know when people do that to me, and I like hate with it's very ironic because I'm on this podcast a lot, but I hate the way I sound. And so when people send me that, like the voicemail, I feel so obligated to send one back. And I'm like, damn it.
That's great.
The pressure.
That's amazing. Okay, so he's also got a 9-year-old step brother, which I don't know that I said out loud.
Cute.
He's so cute. He's precocious. He loves he's escaping into fantasy books because we find out that the stepmom and Blake's dad are getting a divorce.
Right.
So he finally had stability back, and now he's going to go through a second divorce.
Mm-hmm. And he goes around with a cape. He wears the cape to school, and
love it.
He's so cute.
I love it. Yeah. And he's like, I feel like he's just adult enough still because he's sort of rebelling against everything. And so he'll be like, fuck that. And you're like, you're 9. Cool it.
Yeah.
Cool it.
I'm just putting myself when I was 9 and when my kids were 9. I'd have been like hugging a wall like this.
So because Blake really, really likes his stepbrother.
Which I thought was so sweet.
It really was.
Because he could have been resentful because he didn't really grow up with his father. Because after his parents' divorce, he went to England. And that was like when I think he was like 6. Yeah. So him and his father were never really close. And so that's, him coming back is a way to kind of fix those bonds. But he could have been resentful because his father is basically parenting this little boy, which he didn't get to do with him. He didn't get to live with his father, but he didn't. He just loves him. He loves him so much that when his mother is like, Fluffy can no longer stay in the house. Fluffy is Kevin's pet.
And Fluffy is an escape artist.
He's an escape artist in this glass tank cage.
That's the one.
Blake actually takes Fluffy to his apartment because Kevin loves Fluffy so much and doesn't want to give him away.
Yeah, and Fluffy scares Blake quite a bit.
Fluffy scares me.
Yeah. You want to know what's crazy, Naima?
Did she ask him, is Fluffy your cat? No,
Fluffy's a cat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a cat? Okay, I don't think anybody's going to believe me, but it's true. And I have probably photo evidence somewhere that I could find. At the very least, I can call my stepdad, but I had a rose-haired tarantula in my house.
Fuck that.
And that's the exact breed of tarantula. It's a Chilean rose-haired tarantula.
I'm getting creepy. Like my skin is crawling. Why?
My stepdad wanted it, so we got a tarantula, and like we would all.
I would have had to go live somewhere else,
and she would crawl on him.
No.
I
would
hold her quite a bit. She was great.
No.
We called her Rosie because she was pink.
She was what?
Pink. Like not fluorescent pink or like hot pink, but they're rose-haired tarantulas because they look like a rose-colored.
Okay.
They're sort of.
I'm so creeped out right now. I can't. If nobody has guessed by now, I have arachnophobia. I cannot. When I was in college, like for our senior seminar, because I was a psychology major, and we had to do a senior seminar project, and my professor had the great idea. Another way, me and my sister are identical twins. Mm-hmm. We fucking hate spiders. And remember, this shows how old I am. Remember the Encyclopedia Britannica? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We got the stapler and stapled this S section with the spider so we wouldn't, because it never fails when you're flipping it at shit. You flip to a spider and we would just freak the hell out. So we stapled it together. No, it's not brilliant because there's brown recluse in the bee. There's black widow in the bee. There's so we were still like, oh God, we're going to have to staple something in every book, every volume.
Now that you mention it, that's shockingly hard to censor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You took out the main section, but what about the individuals? Ooh. It never failed. We would flip to one. So I'm just hate them. Yeah, hate them.
So do Blake and Amanda. Yeah.
Blake is so he's terrified of this thing. Mm-hmm. But like my senior seminar project.
Oh yeah.
My professor was like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna desensitize you to spiders. Oh, so by the end of the semester, you'll actually hold one.
Pardon me.
And I'm like, yeah, fuck that. But she was like, no, right. No, I can be desensitized to violence first.
Sure.
Right. Are you fucking Gandalf? So she was like, we're going to start with watercolors of a spider and then gradually a more detailed picture, because I can't even look at a picture. Then a more detailed picture, then a more detailed picture. Then you're going to touch the picture, and then you're eventually going to hold a tarantula. I mean, it's my grade, but I didn't get past the watercolor. I could not. That shit, I couldn't get past the watercolor, and I ended up doing a paper on the music of Serafina. I was like,
incredible.
No, I freaked the fuck out over watercolor. I can't do it. I can't.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm reading this, and when she sees Fluffy for the first time, I screamed, even though I felt like this was where we were going, but I was hoping it was like what is that dragon thing, like that lizard? I was hoping it was that.
Yeah, I was going through my head being like, which lizard has hair?
Right.
Is there one?
Yeah, I'm praying at this point.
Yeah.
The fuck no.
It was rough for
listen, you're holding a damn tarantula, and I'm like, first a pig farmer, and now you're letting that shit just crawl over.
Yeah. Well,
what are we doing?
Thank goodness, like tarantulas can't get confused by language, because my stepdad was trying to be all like cool and stuff. Like, oh, I've got a tarantula and its name is Creeps, and I would be like, its name is Rosie.
How big? They
kept on saying the size of your hand. I don't think that's true. Mine never got that big. It was like the size of my palm when it was just like hanging out with all its legs relaxed.
No. Okay, never mind. The legs relaxed. Okay. Oh my God, I'm actually sweating. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so they both freak out, and she's like, why do you have this here if you are afraid of it? Like, what are you doing? And so he explains,
to feed it.
Yeah, you gotta
crickets.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's like, so he tells her about his tiny step stepbrother. And she's like, this is a layer to him I did not anticipate.
Right. That is a depth of love.
Yeah, absolutely.
That I don't even think I have for my sister. I don't even know if I have it for my kids.
Yeah. So as they start working together, they find that they mesh really well writing-wise, and they start looking forward to getting together and working.
Because this is helping them even with like the creativity on their own books that they're finding. So, and they're starting to actually enjoy one another's company. What? So I know she didn't think it was possible, even though he thinks she has a great ass and breasts. So he's always like seen how pretty she was. It was just that the stick up her ass got in the way of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Big barrier for our Blake. Right. And okay, so now he's at drinks with Heath again. And Heath is like, ooh, look at those blondes. They're so blonde. And I'm going to talk to them. And Blake is, and he's like, yeah. And he's like, are you, he invites Blake to a fuck lake.
Right. You know? Well, that's basically what it was. Yeah.
Right? Like a weekend
happened
on
last
the lake.
Time. It was like a little orgy last time. So.
Right. Yeah. And Blake's like, oh no, I have to finish this project. I'm like laser focused on it.
And turns Heath down an orgy for that.
Heath is like, are you sure that it's just the work and not maybe the person behind the work that you might be compelled by? And he's like, no, for sure not. No.
Are we sure?
No, couldn't happen. And then Heath hits on the blondes, and one of the many women that he has jilted is a server at this restaurant, and she's holding a whole tray of pints. She does just dump it on his whole head. And like,
why? He can't remember her name.
He can't remember her name. Listen, he didn't call her, and part of the reason was because he would not know how to address her.
And he's like, Sasha? She's like, that's the manager.
Oh my God. Who he's also fucked.
The manager.
Yeah. And apparently when that happened, like a bunch of the women at this restaurant were like, yeah, get him. But
damn,
I'm so sorry. Bing Boom Bong, safety hazards and liability with Melody. Don't do this because you can brain a person with pint glasses.
Right. And I'm just thinking all
balls.
That. First of all, that's a waste of beer.
Much waste of beer.
And all the spillage, like,
yeah,
it's an accident waiting to happen. I'm like, how does she not lose her job? But that's what he said. Why would he not lose his job? Because it would be Sasha's job to fire her. Mm-hmm. And Sasha's probably over there going, brava.
She's ordering more pint glasses for all the ones that got shattered. Oh my God. But seriously though, you can bludgeon a person. I can't believe he wasn't bludgeoned in this fictional story. Anyway, my exact note is Danger Town in all caps. Yeah. So then he hangs out with his little brother, and he finds out that they're getting a divorce. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons that little bro has been acting out a little bit.
Right.
And he's currently like supposed to be quasi babysitting him because they're off at lawyers probably. And when they get back, little bro is like, oh, you can stay for dinner if you want. And he has a date with Amanda to work.
Right.
But then he sees like the hope in his eyes and like
in his stepmother's eyes, who they don't really like care, like she doesn't really care for him.
No.
It's kind of like distant kind of thing. Like she doesn't actively dislike him. She just doesn't really care for him. But even he can see in her eyes, she's like pleading for him to stay for Kevin's sake. Yeah.
Like, please, my kid is having a rough time and you're one of the people who make him happy. And so he calls her to cancel. And she has been told by a friend about this scene at the restaurant.
Right.
But in the friend's retelling, Heath wasn't the one hitting on the
blondes. Right.
They were both, I guess, hitting on the blondes. So he's like, I'm really sorry. Something came up. I need to cancel. And she's like, how dare you? Is it because someone is blonde? Mm-hmm. What's happening?
She just leaps right over logic and goes to that conclusion. Well, not logic. I mean, because he is who he's like portrayed himself to be. Sure. But she never asked him why. Mm-mm. And because she already jumped to that conclusion and he was annoyed by it, he just agreed with her. Yeah, that's why.
Fuck it. Yes, sure. Bye. So the next class, he has to pull her aside and be like, I have cooled down and I have thought about it. And I'm just going to tell you that nobody was blonde. Like, we were hanging out with Kevin and this is what happened. And she's like, OMG. He's like,
yeah. And they have like a little moment because he has her like cornered up against a wall.
Put her against a wall.
Yeah. I hate it. I was like,
heart.
Yeah, it was the sexual tension between those two.
Zing.
Along with, it was great. And the banter, like that he just dropped sexual innuendos in there and she would just like brush it off. But inside she's all tingly.
Oh, yeah.
And so the sexual tension between them was amazingly written. I was waiting for them to just like kiss already.
I know. I thought it was going to happen during this paper, but it doesn't. So
no, I did too.
They get completely done and they turn it in. And as they're sort of leaving, they're like, well, goodbye. I guess there's no reason for us to see each other
again.
ever again.
Because this is the end of the semester too. And I think he's finished with school while she has, I think, another semester to go or something. Yeah, a year. But he's finished. So this is it for them. And she's basically like, yeah, what you said, there's really no reason for us to talk
and both
or
of
see
them
each
were
other
like,
again.
Could we manufacture a reason? No.
Right.
Okay, I guess I'm going to walk away now.
Yeah.
So as he's going away, the professor like goes up to him and she's like, I speed read some of that shit you guys wrote and like, it's good. And then she goes on this rant.
About romance.
Yeah, about if he kept working at it and he didn't sell out like all of those trashy erotica authors who are making all the money on Amazons, then he could be like a legit author one day.
Yeah. Her words.
Go fuck yourself.
I know. I'm just telling you, if this wasn't written by a romance author, because I either cringed or I got real hot in during some of these conversations. Even the conversations between him and Amanda.
Yes.
Still got mad, you know? Yeah. Okay, but we're getting ahead of ourselves, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, she was just trashing it. She was like, if you sell your soul basically and write all this, porn-based smut, if you keep the track, it's going to be hard, but you can be a legitimate author.
Right.
And all he hears is money.
Oh.
They're making money?
Wait a second.
How much money?
I have a store to save.
That's right. That's right.
And I don't mind talking about dicks.
Oh, God. He does not. He does not.
The amount of times this 23-year-old man is like, yeah, me and my big dick.
Yeah. He had no problem with.
And apparently he's not.
No, he's not fabricating. No. There's no exaggeration here.
It's really, really big or whatever. It's fine. So then he's like, this is a thing that should happen. And like, because I've been so inspired for my horror sci-fi thing, because I'm writing with Amanda, I think that we should do this and we should do it together. His first reason is ridiculous. And that is, he can handle the sex, absolutely. But like, he has no idea what heart feelings are. Right.
He can't do the romance part.
Yeah.
And according to his research, because he did a ton of research, like he used his business degree and he looked at, went on, read interviews, read blogs, articles. Then he went on Amazon and downloaded like the top 10 best-selling erotic romance books. And he's like, you have to have like a dash of romance in these books or else it's not going to sell.
Yeah. So I need a lady with a vagina.
Right.
Who,
to do the hard part.
Love comes from that vagina, I'm pretty sure. Right. And not what I'm working with. It's big, but like love doesn't fit in there.
No, it's big, but that doesn't reflect the size of my heart and my emotions. So
not.
So I'm going to need, the woman to do it.
Yeah. And she is really skeptical, and their conversations are really frustrating for people who legitimately and proudly love romance.
Right.
And it is a metric fuck ton of internalized misogyny that all of us have heard in real life.
Yes.
And it's like, it's going to delegitimize me as an author, and like we have to keep it a total secret because then nobody will publish our other books.
Right. This is just, oh, and here's the thing. We can knock this out with our eyes closed, like, because it's not serious writing. And in the meantime, it could fund our serious writing.
Right.
And some of their conversations were funny in a way because of like the stereotypical language.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
But in other ways, I just got angry, like reading it, because even as they were deciding to do this thing, they were denigrating the genre.
Like, and like my feeling about it was like, this is my safe space. You know? Like I hear this shit everywhere else.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know what the conversations are like. Mm-hmm. And I know
nobody's shy about it.
Nope. So like I don't know. I didn't mind that. I minded it, but I was like, this better fucking pay off.
Right.
In a way that is satisfying, because if it's not, then I'm just going to stay mad for life.
Right. Right. I'm like, they better at some point value what they're writing.
Yes.
Like their minds better change about what they're writing.
Honestly, Naima, I didn't need a grovel in the romance that's in this book. I needed a grovel for the genre. That's right. You better fucking grovel.
You need to get on your knees, do the Barry Manilow slide, and apologize to romance.
There needs to be fireworks in that shit. This grovel better pay off all my student loans. Like
That's right.
This needs to be a grovel like no other. And that's my one complaint about this book, is that there's just not enough groveling.
No, there's not enough apology. Yes.
To the reader.
So that's right. That's right. Seriously, I completely 100% agree with you on that.
And like, I understand. Like, I think, because I've been processing this for a while, because I've been fucking mad about it, and I think one reason that I can come up with for being like, no, don't, like, show don't tell, like it's gonna sound preachy if you grovel to romance in front of romance readers or whatever. And like, I wouldn't have minded the repetition.
No, not at all. Like I kind of understand why, because it's kind of like, when you're watching a movie and the character breaks the third wall, and looks at, it would almost be like the author was interjecting herself into the book. But part of me, like, no, most of me did not care. I was like, I want some comeuppance. I want an apology. I want this big ass revelation. Like, I want the come to Jesus moment for romance. That's what I want.
I wanted the come to Jesus moment to not be about the love story in the book.
Right.
It needed to be about how they are legitimate authors as their fucking pen name too.
That they're earning money from this genre, and still, like, I need an apology for that. Like, I need some respect on my name.
Yes. And I sort of needed it to be more than romance is really useful, because we didn't, even though, spoiler alert, they get outed, even though people know that we also do this, they're still publishing our real stuff, like his sci-fi whatever, her fantasy whatever.
Right.
And even that, I was just like, I don't mind if romance writers write outside of the genre. Like,
absolutely not. That's the beauty about romance. Like, we are not pigeonholed. Like, no. I feel like with other authors, you're either writing fantasy and it's just fantasy, but with romance, you have sci-fi, you have historical, you have romantic suspense, you have fantasy romance. Like, we incorporate so many other genres.
You know what? Romance invites fucking everyone.
It does. It's so inclusive.
Yeah.
Come, like what we say, there's a book for every reader.
Yes.
In this genre. If you're looking for just come to me, I can tell you
absolutely
who you need to read, what your book is, like your soulmate of a book, right? There's a book for every single reader. You can't say that about other genres, but it's why, and even they say in the book, like Blake says, or I think the professor says it's the highest grossing genre in publishing. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
But we didn't, I don't think, like, even though they're continuing to write it, even though they're continuing to make money,
don't get me wrong. They end up being proud of what they do.
Not ashamed of it.
I personally needed it to be turned up to 11.
Right.
And it was like
you
a
love
cool
that shit now.
7.
You love it. Yeah, right. Right. Yeah.
That's all. That's my only complaint.
Totally agree. Like,
and
you're so here about that.
Also, I read this in audio, so if there is some sort of author's note that I missed or something, like heavingbosoms@gmail.com, fucking correct me, and I will, I don't know.
Because I read it, so.
Okay.
But, I don't know. Now I'm going to go back and look. Yeah.
Okay,
That was mine, too. We have the same exact one. Like,
yeah. I needed a grovel to me, a romance reader. Thank you so much. Okay, so sorry. So they decide that their pen name is going to be Blake Lovecox. Fantastic. And they like it because it's gender neutral.
Right. It could be a guy or a girl, Blake.
That's right. That's right.
And the last name is tongue in cheek.
That's the one. Yeah.
And it won't get flagged by Amazon.
Yes. Important.
That's right.
So then they start going over premises.
Right.
And what is the name they land on for this book?
Isn't it like the bad boy?
It's like a stripper. Yeah.
It's something like that.
Falling for the
naked stripper or the bad boy stripper or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's perfect is what it is.
It really, there's no guessing what the book is about.
Absolutely not. No. Later on, they're going to do Slammed by the Single Dad. Like, it's
I love that. Like, I
fucking love it.
That was my favorite title, actually.
Yeah.
And her friend Rio came up with it.
Yeah.
Quite by accident, because nobody knows. Not even Amanda's, like, kooky roommate, who is just... I love her. Oh, my God. The way that just going back a little bit, like, one of my favorite scenes was when she did her makeup.
Yes.
Just before Blake came to pick her up for their first meeting. And she couldn't open her eyes, babe. She could barely open her eyes because of all that eyelash glue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she contoured her for Jesus.
The hell out of it.
It was... good stuff.
Oh, she was a great side character.
Yeah, so Anna is an Estonian immigrant, recent divorcee, who is like on the prowl and in beauty school, and she's the perfect side character.
She really is, and her cooking skills are atrocious.
They're terrible. Yep, and she's always being like, "You get fucked now."
That's right.
Like,
she's like.
You're doing the fuck on each other?
That's the way he goes. He's like, she wants to know if we're having the sex.
Yeah.
She said, my English isn't that bad. I said sex.
I said sex.
Sex.
Don't you misrepresent me, sir.
Having the sex.
So good.
Oh, God.
Okay, anyway, so then they end up in a library to like go over the last chapters of this book, and holy wowza.
Talk about Christianing the sex. I mean, the stacks. Like, oh my God. It was hot.
So he's surprised because she like goes all out for this epilogue, and he's like, I did not know this level was in that beautiful brain.
I didn't know you had it in you.
Holy God.
The levels of debauchery, which included anal.
Yes. I'm sorry. Shit. There was also, I'm sorry, everyone. There was also a scene where they were writing at her house, and she kept on being like, I don't think it's realistic that the heroine would like talk out loud during sex. And he was like, have you had good sex in your whole life? And she tries to be like, I totally have.
Yeah.
And then Blake schools her verbally, and then he's like, hold on, I'm going to live audiobook narrate at you sexily. And so they start like narrating back and forth as he like lays her on the bed and starts like kissing up her places, and they end up kissing and he gets a tit out. But then Anna comes home and that's all we've done. It's hot.
Until the library.
Listen, I was trying to buy shoes with my kids during this scene.
Oh my God.
And like, I cannot tell you the amount of times I had to rewind because I couldn't keep the narration and what was happening bodily in the same, like, it wouldn't fit
those two don't go together
in my brain while I was like, is it the glitter ones you want? Babe, they have to be closed-toed. That's not your size. I don't care how sparkly they are. That will hurt your foot, Valor. Take the shoe off. We're not playing Cinderella today.
He's burying his face in her ass.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, anyway.
The two do not go together.
Listen, I make it work. I don't know how I do it.
I think my attention is so split.
I think it's the ADHD. I'm able to just like bounce. I do have to rewind a lot sometimes and make sure I heard things correctly.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, listen, I had to read this book before this recording, and I had a recording yesterday. So, like, I had one day to read this book. Bitch needed shoes.
You had to multitask.
She Hulk smashed some shoes. She has no idea how it happened, but, like, they ripped in like the middle part where nothing should. It was amazing. I'll send you a picture of her.
Please do, because I'm like picturing this, and I'm like, I need evidence. I need proof.
It was
of
wild.
What happened.
Wild. Huh. Anyway, we ended up with some neon jellies, and she's really happy about it. I love her so much. Okay, so then now he's doing that epilogue stuff, and she's like, I'm gonna let you rewrite that chapter so that you can show me your dirty bird brain, and she goes into the stacks to peruse or whatever, but then she feels his hard body, just his presence behind her.
And she does not push him. Oh, what was real hot for me is when she tried to turn around and he wouldn't let her. Like, he just pressed up hard. I was like, this is about, I think this is it. I think this is it.
I think we might get a priest.
That's it.
He does a big priest on her.
He does. Oh my God, doesn't he?
And I'm talking about Priest by Sierra Simone.
That's
Kool-Aid
right. If
listener.
y'all don't know.
Don't come for me.
I mean, to me, in the context of this conversation, what else could it be? Like,
what else
honestly,
could it be?
When I'm outside, and I mean, what else could it be?
Yeah,
that's my go-to when I hear Priest. Like,
agreed.
You know.
Agreed.
And then my second go-to was the movie. So,
oh boy,
you know, I understand.
Boy.
Yeah, woo, I love that movie.
Yeah. Anyway, so he does take her pants down, and he goes down on her from behind, and it's the first time any human has licked her there.
She is a cunnilingus virgin, okay?
With the person for 4 fucking years.
And he doesn't go down like
deal breaker, fucking deal breaker, man.
I'm surprised you made 4.
Yeah,
honestly.
yes.
But he was her first, right? He was her first in everything.
Yeah.
And boy, did he do her wrong.
Yeah.
He did her dirty.
She kept on being like, way. Could we do a kink? A tiny one? The sweetest kink?
He shamed her. Like, he so shamed her. So she like shut it down.
Yeah.
But woo, Blake.
Great stuff, Blake. Oh yeah. So then he goes down on her from behind. And she's just shocked by this. She does come like a freight train. And then he stands up, and she hears him like get a foil packet out and stuff. She tries to turn around, and he's like, I'm not ready for that yet. Then he does turn her around, and he's like opening the condom, and he puts it on the head of his cock, and he's like, do you want to do the honors?
Do the honors.
And she's like, I think you've got it. Like, I think
you got it covered.
I think you can handle that part. But then she says, I think that's pretty presumptive of you. And he's like, oh yeah, presumptive.
Yeah, really. I know.
Jan.
At this point.
Totally.
His face has been in your ass.
Yeah. And he asks, we can stop here, he says.
Right. Consent.
And
right.
Yeah. And she's like, hard no.
No. You're there already. Like, it's.
Yeah. Just, stopping is my current hard limit. I think. I think that might need to be a sticker. Fuck.
A sticker and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'd buy that.
Okay. And then, boy, she has that big dick for a first time.
Man, and she does describe it as big. It was not false advertising.
No, yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
At all.
It goes well, I'll tell you that much.
It went well for me.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't hate it. And then they do get caught by Treebeard the librarian.
Shit was so funny.
Treebeard the librarian.
My Lord of the Rings heart sang. She looked like an it.
So good.
But she busted them. And he's like,
his ass is out. He doesn't
everything, and then even when he's pulled it up and zipped it up, his dick was still hanging out.
Yeah,
and the librarian takes off after him. She takes off after him. She's like running him down. He's like, "You go left and get the laptops, and I'll distract her."
Yeah,
she does not stop. She follows him all the way out the library. They have to jump in his car and just zoom off.
You gotta go. So she's like, where are we going? And he's like, we're going back to my apartment. I'm not done with you yet.
That's right. You didn't think I was done with you yet.
Boy. So they do more sex at that apartment. And it's great stuff. And then they wake up the next morning or something.
Oh, Jesus.
He's still naked. And then we're going to just zip through this, Naima.
I'm going to let you do it because like I said, I skipped past this part when I realized what was going on.
You can. I'll just go like this when you need to come back. If you need to tap out. All right? So they're talking the next morning, and all of a sudden, he's naked. She's in one of his shirts. And all of a sudden, Fluffy is on the middle of the kitchen counter. And they both shriek to the high heavens. He jumps at least 4 feet in the air, and he does almost knock himself out with that dick, you know, because it is so big. And so then they have to try and catch this tarantula, and she can't handle it. He finally, I was probably driving away from Target at this point. So I don't super remember how they got it back in the aquarium, but it did go back in there.
Apparently it did, because the next chapter it was back in.
In. We're all good.
Yeah.
Whew.
As soon as it said that he swore that it lifted up a leg, I was like, I'm out. I'm tapping out. I'm gone. Gone. I was just like, skip.
Yeah.
If they had sex during this part, I wouldn't know it because I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So
Fluffy's
good.
out. Mayday.
Yeah.
Mayday.
Abort mission. Okay. So then, boy, this note is they fucking right and fucking right.
I mean, it is true.
Yeah. I'm a great note taker, Naima.
Wait,
the way I can
you
synthesize...
You covered the important parts.
Yeah.
You did.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome, listener. These things I do for you. So then at some point he tells his brother, I have a girlfriend and she'll come to this LARPing event because he, unlike his dad and stepmom, wants to encourage the kids' interests.
Right.
And they're like, you're
don't
an enabler or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck that. This kid's awesome. He's rad. And I'm taking him to a LARPing event. So later on, she stops by the shop to, say hey or whatever. And everybody's there. And so she finds out from Kevin, the 9-year-old, that are you the girlfriend?
Girlfriend? Right. Now, mind you, he had lied about her being his girlfriend to cover for the fact that he was writing a book with her. Like he couldn't say we're spending so much time together because we're writing a book together. So it's like, this is my girlfriend.
Yup. So she gets a big deer in the headlights look in her eyes and agrees. She gets roped into going to the LARPing event as well. Right. And she tells him that he's going to dress like Loki for her, and that's that.
God, that's my fantasy.
Yeah, I see no problems with this plan. So then afterwards, she's like, okay, well, bye. And like beats awkward. Feet out of there. Yeah. And he runs after her and he's like, hey, I just need you to know, like, I'm sorry about that. But like, I know the score. I know that we're writing partners and like friends with benefits and like, that's it. And then he thinks to himself, like, I don't understand women because why does she look so disappointed?
Right. She looks so like she shut down.
Yeah,
right?
like this is something she said she wanted. This was a boundary she talked about having. Like, I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, he's like, I don't get women.
It's called feelings, sir. Yeah. And then she decides that she has to guard her heart because she knows that she's getting these feelings that are not attainable.
Right.
So then they decide they get tested so that they can be exclusive and fuck without condoms. So that's great.
That's the natural step in the relationship.
That's some great rep.
Or situationship.
Yes.
It's responsible.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and she's obviously like on birth control or whatever. So then they publish the book, and for the first 24 hours, nothing happened. Right. And they're like, we're fucking failures. Yeah. Oh, no.
So what do you do in this situation? You go fuck to forget, right?
That's the one.
Right.
Boy, and then they wake up and everybody had a happy ending because they are...
Nice. Good.
Thank you. That was on the fly and everything. They're number 80 on Amazon's overall top 100 list.
Yes, and they are like so excited, so thrilled because they kind of didn't see this happening.
Yeah.
And then later on, it even goes lower, I think, to number 11. So they're a hit.
Yeah, and they're raking in monies.
It's just coming in. What I found funny and so true to life was that she got like upset over their first 1-star rating.
Yep.
I was like, sing it, sister.
Yep.
I remember when I first started writing and I got my first 2-star rating. And I was so upset that I emailed like an author I was friendly with and like, I don't know what to do. Should I stop writing? I was so hurt. Like, it was my first 2-star. She was like, listen, curb your expectations. This
Reviews
will not be and this will not be the last one.
Yeah.
Don't read them.
Yes.
She's like, she had to like just like bring my expectations down to earth and like school me on that. I remember that clearly.
I mean, yeah. And if you're hoping that one day you're going to get one of those, there's too much sex reviews that you can use for marketing. You still don't read the reviews. You have a friend troll your reviews and then shut their fucking mouth unless there is a too much sex review.
That's what I do. Now, personally, I need people to look at the too much sex review differently because when I read too much sex, it's a one-clicker.
Yes.
It's like, that's the best marketing ever.
Absolutely.
That and too much cursing. I'm like, one click?
Yeah, absolutely.
This looks like my jam.
Yeah. So now she's like feeling the pressure for book 2 and she's stressed about it and she's experiencing writer's block for this this walk in the park erotica that's worth nothing and should be able to be written so easily.
Yeah, so fast.
So mad. Oh, also, her entire premise, so he has this sci-fi horror thing. Her entire premise is like a high fantasy thing.
Right.
And she says that high fantasy readers are not interested in having an in-depth romance in the plot. And somewhere Sarah J. Maas is just cackling.
I know.
Like, to be fair, I think this was written like before Akashmir came out. But still.
Like, what are you talking? Like,
what are you talking about?
One of my favorite things about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many, but one of them was Aragorn and Arwen. Like, come on.
Yeah, I I needed
Are you
that.
serious? Yes.
Absolutely.
It was that little balance of like realism that these aren't just people who live for hundreds of years or who are elves. Like that makes them relatable.
It grounds them. Yeah.
Yes. So
absolutely.
That I cackled at that one. I was
Same.
like, really?
I was
really,
like,
bitch?
oh, love. You're going to eat your words in a few years.
Right.
I'll tell you that much. Right. Sarah J. Maas is just building pyramids with her money. Okay. So she decides that they should go out to her parents' cabin and write there to get inspiration. And
a little writing retreat.
Yeah. And the only real, like, important, like, capital I important thing is that they have, like, sweet, meaningful sex for the first time.
Yes, this is the switch. This is the switch. And you can see, like, the feelings that they can't admit out loud are translating itself into their sex.
Most definitely.
Yeah, it was good.
Absolutely. Yeah, so then, listen, there's just, like, a bunch of bad romance talk that I wanted to take my eyeballs out about. And because they're paranoid about people finding out. They're like, they're ashamed about this, and it's rough. But it's necessary for the climax.
Right. And with him, it's because of his father.
Yeah.
You know, because he's really not ashamed of sex. Like, he's like, whatever. But it's because of his father and the business and how his father views romance. And her, with her parents, they're so conservative and so judgmental and critical of her. This would just be, they don't even take her high fantasy book seriously.
No.
If they found out about her writing erotic romance, it's like, they would just, they would flip.
No, you're right. And her whole circle has always seen her as, like, the weird girl that, you know, like, she's always been the weirdo. So she doesn't want anybody to find out for those reasons.
Right.
But it's still just, like, feels
it's
bad
still,
in my tummy.
It really does. Like, reading it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I don't know.
I don't know how many times I have to say if it wasn't a romance writer writing this.
I know.
I would just be one to give eye jammies to these characters. Yeah. But I get it. Because of their family situations, I do. But still.
Again, all of the conversations were completely true to life.
Right. Which is why it's so maddening.
Yes.
Which is why, because we've heard all the rhetoric.
Yes.
And that's what they were saying. But I think I don't want to say triggered, because I enjoyed the book. It did trigger me enough to put it down. Yeah. Was that it was from the people who were writing it, you know?
Yes.
Not just from the outside. It's from the people who were writing it, making money off of it.
Yeah.
And they still had this opinion about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely hear you. And, like, romance was the means to the end instead of being its own destination. Right. Right. Because we can have multiple stops on your train, you fucks. Right. Like, you can stop in Erotica Land, and then you can head on over to Sci-Fi Horror Town, and then you can come on back.
Like, bust that Yui and come right on back.
That's right. Like, they don't. So anyway, one of the reasons, I'm so sorry, listener. The reason he was doing a big man whore all over the place.
Right. Oh, we forgot about that. Yeah.
He did get his heart broken by, like, his dream girl. Her name was Rachel. She was supposed to move to Canada for him. She did cheat on him hard. And, boy, he's heartbroken. So Heath does this too. Heath is like, you've been fucking everyone with a post, possible. Basically. Yeah. Yeah. In order to, like, get back at Rachel. And for the first time, it seems like, you know, he says, like, you're going to miss out on your Nala.
This was so the most brilliant, like, conversation. One of the most brilliant conversations.
So good. Oh my God.
And then the way that you kept using the Lion King analogy.
The lyrics.
Like, even with Scar. Like,
yes. Oh, it was so. And he says, like, don't lose your Nala because you hate. God.
Scar.
No, what was the actor who
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons. Because you hate Jeremy Irons. Fuck, it was so funny.
It was.
Oh my God.
It was.
Did you know that song, that the Be Prepared song, is not Jeremy Irons?
you couldn't have told me that. It sounds just like him.
I know. It's one of the most talented voice actors anybody's ever heard in their fucking lives, because the week that Jeremy Irons was supposed to record his Scar song, he got laryngitis.
Oh, I never knew that.
So if you listen to that thing,
you know I'm about to go listen
like
to
Jeremy
it.
Irons.
I'm about to go listen to it as soon as we finish here.
Exactly.
I love that song too. Like,
oh, same.
That one, and my favorite villain songs is there. That one and the one from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like,
that's
with
a good one too.
Yes. Oh, those are my two favorite villain songs. Yeah.
Good work. Yeah. So anyway, he gets an email from Rachel that's like, I made a big giant mistake and I would like you back. And then she calls him and asks if he will come to an engagement party for her friend Sarah.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. What suit do you want me to wear? Like, here we go. He's like tail wagging. He's so cute. So he comes, he's like gobsmacked by her outfit and her hair and all this shit.
Yes. And her roommate actually did her makeup and she doesn't look like a clown.
Yes.
She's getting better.
It's not giving Alien. And like, that's what we want, really.
It's not giving Avatar.
That's the one. Yeah. Yes. So on the way to the engagement party, he bares his soul and he tells her about the email from Rachel. And she says, oh, and you told her that you would go back to her? And he's like, no, I turned her down because I met someone amazing. And like, I want to be with that person.
I love this part. As a reader, I just love the fact that wasn't drawn out. Like the whole, especially since Rachel's role in the book wasn't like Alan's role. Like we didn't actually get to meet Rachel.
Right.
So I was glad that she didn't make Rachel such a big deal that was going to be their breakup moment over Rachel.
Yes. Yeah.
I was so glad she didn't spaz out over Rachel and like cling to that as a reason to like put more distance between them.
Absolutely.
I love the scene in the car. It was so refreshing. And I was like, yes.
It was refreshing. It was beautiful. It tracked for both characters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because he says all of this and she's sitting there just like kind of, saucer eyed. And he's like, I'm going to need you to say something.
Yeah, right. Like,
because I'm dying. And she says, I thought my feelings were very clear. And he's like, what? No.
No.
I need out loud words in English, please.
And what I thought was, it kind of was like a reflection. This moment was kind of like a reflection of the prologue. Yes. Because she couldn't say anything there either. For a moment, she was like speechless. And then she turned him down and she puked. Yeah. And this one, where it's this guy that totally gets her, he's like, introduced her to all the sexual shit and pleasure and everything. And she's speechless for a moment. And he's like, just like Alan had said in the beginning,
Alan
say
was like,
something.
You gotta say something.
Yeah.
He said out of the corner of his mouth while on his knees.
And it was kind of like the same thing.
It was.
Like,
I hadn't picked up on that. You're right.
I love the reflection. Like it was just an echo of the beginning. And I loved it. I loved it.
Nice, Karina, Halle.
I know.
And so she's like, yeah, I will definitely be your girlfriend. Can do. Will take job.
Yeah.
Super stoked. This is when she officially agrees to go on the LARPing thing. And she said, I would have gone even if I wasn't like your official girlfriend or whatever.
Right.
So
and he wants her to dress up as Jean Grey, Phoenix.
Yes, Phoenix.
Which
she's got red hair.
Right,
hot stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they go and they run into Alan at the engagement party.
And Alan, he's still as much of a condescending asshole as ever.
And just like a lame ass.
He really is.
Like no sense of humor.
Like, none.
At one point he says that one of his mentors, Dr. Teethington, he's a dentist. And neither he nor his new dentist girlfriend can figure out why they think
Blake
that's funny.
Finds that hilarious. He's like, "Are you for real, Teethington?"
Yeah. No, rewind the tape, Teethington.
Yeah. And they don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's hilarious. It really they were like perfect for each other because
absolutely.
And then what I found, oh God, I just wanted to punch him in the forehead. But it was so true to characters when they were like, okay, we're gonna go. Like basically they were walking off and he's like, no, wait. He had to run down her credentials, like proving that she's a real professional, has a real career, and you don't. What an asshole! Like
so much, yeah,
absolutely. You're overcompensating at this point. Like I just wanted to punch him in the neck.
Absolutely, and so did Blake.
Yeah.
So she gets Hammertown, and Blake is pretty close to right neck and neck with her. Not as bad though. And so instead of punching Alan in the face, he says, stop talking about my girl like that. She is a best-selling author, and look it up, fuck. Like, our pen name is Blake Lovecox.
And she's raking it in.
And, and, like, you can just eat it. So he gets her home, and he holds her hair while she pukes, and, like... Yeah. They have a adorable morning, and he's going to go back to the party spot to get his car because they cabbed home, obviously.
Right.
And as that happens, he's out the door, and she gets a text from Sarah being like, is this you? Amazon link.
Right. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because Blake had told her, she had asked them, did you behave? Because she didn't remember anything. She's like, did you behave? And he hesitated a bit and was like, yeah. So she had no idea this was going on until she got that text from Sarah. And I'm not going to lie, my stomach dropped. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, because of the betrayal. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, but he didn't see it that way. He saw it as defending her, but she was like, that wasn't your secret to tell. We agreed, and you betrayed that.
And if we really think about it, I don't think you were defending me. I think you were assuaging your own ego.
Right. That too. It's
like, I didn't need defense. I don't care what Alan thinks, but you needed him to know that you're dating an accomplished woman.
Right. So, you're accomplished too, because you're doing it together. Like, so it's a reflection on him. And so I got why she was mad.
Absolutely.
Did. Especially because everybody knows now.
It's everywhere.
And they've been outed on their Facebook page, and all these comments are coming in.
Yep.
People are saying, was this? Yes. It's her mother.
She gets a call from Mumsy.
Not happy.
Yeah.
She ain't happy.
She basically said, she almost verbatim says, I don't want to tell people you're my daughter anymore because I'm ashamed of you. How could you? And she's like, what do you want us to do? Like, now that we know this. And finally Amanda just cracks up, and she's like, I want you to support me for who I am and not for who you want me to be. That's all I've ever wanted in my fucking life. And like, why can't you do that? And then they end up hanging up, and she's sobbing.
Yeah, because her mother is not budging. I thought her mother was going to melt for a minute there when she kind of released all of that, but her mother was holding firm on you're a disappointment and I don't want to hear from you.
Yeah, and she's like, you're in danger of being disinherited. I'm going to try to talk your father down. But
it's taking you off the will.
Yeah.
God damn. All over a book.
Yeah. Right?
They were terrible.
It's amazing. So then Blake comes home and she confronts him. She does attack him with her tiny fists. And he puts the island between them because she's obviously not well. And she's like, that wasn't your secret to tell, and I feel incredibly betrayed. We made a agreement.
Yeah.
And everything about this is not okay. So she fucks off. And during this, she's like, I can't believe that I gave you my heart. And he claps back and he's like, what are you talking about? You've never given me your heart.
Right.
And
which was a good line.
Absolutely. And she says, you're right. And it's a good thing. And then she
I was like, I felt so bad for him. I felt, even though he was in the wrong.
Yeah.
When she said that, I felt so bad for him. Because we're in his POV and we know how much he loves her. He has admitted it to himself by now. He just hasn't admitted it to her. And he does love her. Yeah. And for her to say that, it's like, ooh,
it's gut-wrenching.
Come here.
And and she does love him. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, she does.
God
she does.
So she spends a week ignoring his texts and phone calls and emails. And by the time the week rolls around and he stops texting and calling and emailing,
she's like, why?
Uh-ohs.
I might have fucked up.
Did I take it too far?
Did I?
Who knows? Does he want me anymore? I don't know.
And good old Anna is like, yeah, bitch.
Yeah. And then she runs into Kevin in his LARP gear because it's Sunday and it's LARP day.
And she's out running and she runs into Kevin and his mother.
Yeah.
Because they have come down off their high horse and realized it's about Kevin, not about you.
I don't know about
she
the
has.
dad.
But he ended up going there. He ended up being there, showing up. But
that's right.
She took him. Yeah.
But, okay, I'm so sorry. After this happens, the one sort of hypocritical thing is that he outs her to her whole community, and then she's like, well, I hope that you're ready because, like, a newspaper fucking called me, so your dad's gonna fucking find out, and good. Like, that's what you get. And he's like, oh no, my dad can't find out, like this, now it's his shameful secret.
Yeah, he has to man up because he did this to her.
Yeah.
So now he has to bite the bullet and tell his father. It's only fair. Like, he realized that, so he goes to the store and he tells his father, and his father was like, is she, like, somebody pregnant?
Yeah. And he's like, he says the thing basically that I said to Tanya when I needed bail money, and like, it's worse than that. It's worse. It's almost that bad. Oh no. So anyway, the dad is like, you are scum now. This is ridiculous.
Shameful. You have embarrassed us. I run this respectable store. And he just tells his father, he's like, listen, I'm making money. And
those numbers.
Yeah. Like, yes. And he's like, we're going to hire a manager who's going to run this store, get it back in the black. And he's like, but that's what you went to school for. He's like, no, listen. I have money. I'm going to hire somebody who knows what they're doing, and I'm going to write. I'm going to do what I want to do, and that's right. But when he pulls out the numbers, his father folds very quickly.
His tune changes faster than an opera singer. I could not believe. He was just like, well, congratulations on your new career then. Now that I know, because he says, this is the amount of money I'm going to be giving just straight to the store. And I'm still going to have enough to live on and shit.
Right, because this is what I've made in a month.
Yeah. And...
changes real quick.
Yep, still doesn't do any kind of groveling. I will have everyone know.
None. It's the money.
When they have the manager and everything, the manager agrees with Blake that they should be carrying romance, and so that gets fixed in the bookstore later on. But still, like, the dad is just managing to stay up on that high horse, no matter how hard he's teeter-tottering.
That's right, teeter-tottering into bankruptcy, I might add.
Oh God, take your principles to the poorhouse.
That's right,
you fuck. So mad. I was so mad. So then she shows up. She's Jean Grey now. And she's like, I'm a LARPer. And she's trying to find him. He like pulls her out of a scrum that she finds herself caught in. And with all these foam swords coming at her. Oh,
she
man.
She getting hit left and right.
It's so good. And then he's like, what are you doing here? He is dressed as Loki.
Yeah. He kept his promise.
She's like, is it too late? And he's like, no, I knew you needed time. I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm in love with you. And she's like, me too. I'm in love with you. And now they're together forever.
Oh, but one of my favorite parts that I thought was so real life was she takes him over to the tent thing. Yeah. Where they have like a whole bunch of pillows. I don't know, it's an Arabian Nights theme. I don't know, whatever.
I don't know, who knows?
And she's like, let's hit it. Like, let's seal this happily ever after with some sex. And she's like, she lays back and she opens up her legs and he's like, do you know you have a hole in your... And
you're
she's
just
like,
pussy out right now?
Right. She's like, this is the most realistic shit. She's like, I'm in a tight ass jumpsuit. I'm not peeling all of this off to go to the bathroom. Because
Especially not in like a porta potty?
Right. You know how you would knock the damn thing over. Like,
oh my God.
The reason I said, bitch, I know, because I have like a full bodysuit Spanx. A full bodysuit Spanx, right?
Is it like wrestling an alligator to get it on?
Yes. So, but in the crotch area, it's just like wide open. Yes. So you don't have to take off all your dress and all of that in the bathroom and peel it off. You just bring the dress up, squat, and go for it.
That's the one.
That was great. I thought that was great. You too.
It also is a great window for cunnilingus, everyone.
Yes, as we found out in this book.
That's right.
Easy access.
Oh boy. Easy access. So good. So now it's a year later in the epilogue. They are successful authors. They're doing an erotica book signing at his dad's shop.
Bookstore. Yep.
His dad is supportive now. His dad is now dating Anna, the Estonian roommate beautician.
And they get each other. Like,
yeah, she loves turnip pancakes or whatever Anna makes. And then so also, don't worry, everyone. They are legitimately successful with a sci-fi horror and a high fantasy.
Because they now have agents, too, who are shot.
Who found them via Blake Lovecox.
Lovecox, right. And she just got like a really good deal, like and he had, his book is just optioned for a movie. Yep. Now, not the romance, but the legitimate. Books, you know,
that's the one. Yeah.
And her folks show up.
Yep. She says that she's gotten closer to them in the last year.
Yeah. I wish we could have seen some of that.
I don't know. I don't think I wanted to see that mom ever again.
I wanted to see like which is just me, like me as a reader.
Yeah.
It didn't take anything away from the book at all. I think the pacing was fantastic. But like as a reader, I would have liked to have seen that conversation where they pivoted, you know?
Because I think it would have made a really great brick in that gravel wall that I needed.
Right. I'm all about, like, that's what it is. Everything that the little nitpicky things are about the gravel.
Yes.
You know, the people who just tore him down, and
I needed
even
this
them,
book
like
to prostrate itself in front of me. That's what I needed. I needed this book to hand me a paddle and to say, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?"
That's right. It's what I wanted. It really is. It's what I wanted.
And again, it's taken care of, just not to the extent that I think Naeem and I would have preferred. Yeah. Is all.
But it was a good book. I enjoyed it. It was it did its job.
It did.
It really did. I really enjoyed it.
I loved book.
Yeah.
I did.
So thank you for suggesting that one.
Yeah. Thank you to listener, because this is one of the 5-star bribe books.
Oh, cool. Yay.
Yeah. This is one of the 3 or 4 that are on this reading list. So thank you to the listener who gave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and then said you have to review Smut now. Because it was great.
You were right. You were right. We will give you all the accolades. You were right.
Absolutely. And Naima saw behind my very flimsy Oz curtain a little bit more. So it was a really great vehicle for that.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. Every time, never fails.
All right, I think I know what my lady love is this week. And it came to me during this recording because I've been really trying to, I've professionally been embracing myself for the past 5 years and trying to do what I love. And now that I have this recording booth, it has just reminded me about what a sweaty salamander I am. And so I've started doing hot yoga to just lean into that, just be that. And during this recording, I came to the conclusion that I'm Pumbaa. And that's my lady love. If you're Pumbaa, just love on Pumbaa. See the beauty of Pumbaa. Or whatever your Pumbaa is. Are you Chonk from the Goonies? Because I'm also Chonk.
Oh God! Hey, you guys! Oh, but that was Western McCauley. But yes, I love Chunk.
Yeah.
I love the verbal diarrhea of Chunk. The awkwardness of Chunk.
Yeah.
But he embraced himself.
Yes.
Like all the insults they would like throw at him was like, water off a duck's back.
Didn't do a thing, as it shouldn't. Yeah. Just like being Pumbaa is not bad. You know, you're a little smelly, but you've got a great heart.
A huge heart.
And you'll let anybody ride on your back if you got to get somewhere. Preferably the size of meerkats, but like, you know, you can't always get what you want.
You're the go-to person.
Yeah.
You're a shot of joy. That's
Thank
what
you.
you're. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Do you have anything that has been making you happy recently?
Books. Like I have, because I just turned in a book. And I just had to roll into another one. Yeah. But I have just been, sometimes what I'll do when I write is I'll get, I'm so involved in the writing because usually I'm up against a deadline. Yeah, and I spend so many hours writing that I forget that reading like feeds me. It gives me inspiration. It makes me excited. And so I decided like in the last month or two to like, listen, even when you're up against a deadline, stop writing at a certain point and read for 2 hours because you need it. It's what puts you on this path in the first place. And it just fills your well. And so I have been reading lately. I have been reading the most fantastic books. My latest one was called The Marriage Favor by Siobhan Latrice. Yeah. And again, remember we were saying earlier, like you think you have those hard limits. Yes. And then you read a book and the author who just shove you past the limit. It was like, hold my beer with that limit. Like, bitch, please read this. That's what that book was. And he was it. First of all, it was a mother with 6 kids. Yowza. And I'm like, when I first read it, I was like, 6 kids. And she's divorced. And because her husband did her dirty. But she's during the day, she's at a call center. And on the weekends, she's doing what she has to do by dancing at a strip club. And like, I don't, like a year ago, I don't even know if I would have like embraced that in a heroine, you know, but now, I mean, I loved it. I just loved it. And he's with somebody, but he's not a man whore. He's like the best guy. And watching them fall in love and, it was just such a wonderful book. It was, but like I said, it took those limits, those boundaries, like those DNF boundaries that I had, and it just pushed it.
I love that.
It was a fantastic book. And now, I mean, I have just been on such a good roll with books. And it's made my writing better because I'm excited to go back to my own book because I'm energized by a wonderful story.
Oh, yay. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. Actually, I'm sorry, I have one more lady love because I have also been reading a book for fun, which doesn't happen a lot. And Lily Mayne, famous for the Monstrous Universe. Up until this point, to my knowledge, she's only written MM. Yeah. Last month, she came out with her first MF, Monster Romance, where...
what's the monster?
It's a brand new monster. It's a demiurgus or a demiurgus or something.
Oh, you know, I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, please. I love this book. So it's great rep because the heroine has vaginismus. Yeah. And so and also they just don't fit together regardless. And so it's really great to see the types of really fulfilling sex you can have without penetration.
Oh my gosh, I love
and not feel
that.
like you're missing anything.
Yeah.
And also it's a dom sub situation, and it's a soft dom sub situation with the heroine in control.
Oh my! So you don't read that too often.
I know.
Okay, now I'm so all over this book.
Also, there's a sex cult.
Oh, as one should.
As
it's not complete without it.
Yeah.
Like you're just giving me more and more reasons to read it.
I mean, it's so good. I've been devouring it. It's called Berries and Greed by Lily Mayne, and it is delicious. And the hero has like a really high anxiety, and it's just great. It's just great stuff. So
I love when authors like incorporate things like that into, because like it wasn't too long ago we wouldn't have seen representation like emotional health, in books. And I love when authors do that, because so many people suffer from whether anxiety, depression, and it's just oh God, Kristen Callahan, one of my favorite books, was in the VIP series with the lead singer, and he suffered from depression. Oh, I love that book. I just really enjoy when they do that, because it's so real to life. Yeah,
most definitely. And I don't think we see vaginismus enough.
I've never heard of it. Like I mean, never read it before in a book. I've never read it, so it reminds me of one of my other favorite reads of the year, Shirley Gray's "Enough at Midnight." And I mean, well, she did such a creative way with the sex scenes, because they couldn't have sex because it would kill them. And so, in penetration sex, because it would kill them. So they had to find, they couldn't like even touch each other like that way, because it would kill them, because she was turned into a Grim Reaper. And so they had to find ways of being sexual with each other without touching. And the way that she did that was so creative and so sexy.
I love it.
Oh my God. The sex scenes were so hot, but they weren't touching each other. They were touching themselves. But then when the curse was broken, when they found a way to be able to touch this, it was explosive. Like,
I can only imagine.
So good. So good.
Yeah. But unapologetic vaginismus. It's great.
I've already written the title down. I'm about to go find that.
Yeah. All right. So now we got to come up with a keep being a badass. So love yourself as much as you
love yourself as much as Mel loved midwiving pigs.
Yeah. That's a pure love. Keep being a badass and love yourself as much as I love being a pig farmer. I loved it. It's the circle of life. I got to see it in action. There were a lot of fluids, everyone.
Oh, God.